Today's deep dive is going to be about, well, beating the winter blues?
Yeah, discovering all the amazing stuff you can grow even when it's freezing outside, like in December and January.
Wow, December and January. Okay.
We're checking out this YouTube channel called Kitchen Gardening Secrets. Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
It's all about, well, you guessed it, kitchen gardening.
Makes sense.
This creator, I gotta say, is just so passionate about, like, getting people to grow their own food,
Yeah.
no matter what time of year it is.
Year round, huh?
Totally. And the coolest thing, this video we're looking at, it's actually in Hindi.
Oh, interesting.
But you know what? It just shows you how gardening knowledge really can cross all kinds of borders. Like anyone who's dealing with winter can totally relate to this.
Yeah, definitely. It's like a universal language, right?
Yeah.
Gardening.
It is. And get this creator shows how to grow like a ridiculous amount of different veggies. We're talking 24.
I know, right? It totally busts that myth that winter gardens have to be like boring. Just a few things that can handle the cold.
Yeah, you always hear about like kale and spinach and stuff.
Right. So it's super cool to see that you can actually have tons of variety.
Yeah, that's amazing. What are some of the things they talk about growing?
Okay, so they start with some of the usual suspects, which is kind of cool because they go into detail about how to make them work even in winter. Like they talk about cabbage, purple, and green, both of them.
Okay, cabbage, sure. That's a pretty hardy vegetable.
Exactly. But they stress starting them as seedlings inside and then, transplanting them outside when they're a bit tougher.
Oh, right, to give them like a head start.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And guess what? They even grow tomatoes.
Tomatoes in winter. That's surprising.
Right. But they explain how tomatoes can actually be grown in all sorts of seasons. And yeah, seedlings are key for those too.
Yeah, tomato seedlings are, they're definitely pretty delicate,
Yeah.
especially in cold weather. So I can see why starting them inside would be a good idea.
For sure. Okay, and get this, radishes.
Radishes. Oh, nice. I love radishes.
Me too. And can you imagine, like, picking fresh radishes from your garden in the middle of winter?
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing.
Right. Talk about a little taste of summer. And they mention both red and white varieties.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
you can mix it up a bit, color-wise.
Exactly. All right, now get ready for this. We're moving into, like, some really interesting territory. This creator introduces bitter melon.
Bitter melon. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one.
It might be new to some folks. It's also called Corella,
Mhm.
and it's super popular in a lot of Asian cuisines.
Corello. Okay, I think I've heard of that, yeah.
Have you ever tried growing it?
I haven't, no.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool that more and more people are, getting into growing ingredients that might be a little outside their comfort zone.
Totally. It just opens up so many possibilities in the kitchen, right? Moving beyond, like, the typical winter veggies.
Absolutely. So what else besides the bitter melon? What else did they grow that was kind of unusual?
Okay, so get this, bell peppers. Bell peppers. Wait, don't those usually need, like, warm weather?
Yeah, that's what you'd think. But this creator swears by growing them in cooler temperatures. And they say November to January is like prime time for planting them.
Huh. See? That's why this video is so great. It challenges all those assumptions we have.
I know, right? And another surprising one, garlic. They had fantastic results growing garlic in all sorts of containers, which is pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, that's cool. Containers are great, especially if you don't have, like, a ton of space. So garlic in containers, very cool.
And it just seems so adaptable. Plus, imagine using your own homegrown garlic in all your winter cooking.
Oh, yeah. Nothing beats that. Fresh garlic is the best. And speaking of fresh, I noticed in the video they really emphasize using organic fertilizers and compost.
Oh, yeah, they're all about that. They even offer viewers vermicompost, which is like worm castings, I think. It's supposed to be an amazing natural fertilizer.
Yeah, it is. Worm castings are amazing. And it just shows, how important sustainable gardening is becoming to people. It's great to see that, right? People really getting back to basics and working with nature instead of, against it.
Absolutely.
Okay, you ready for a quick rundown of some other awesome veggies they mention?
Sure, hit me.
Carrots. And get this, they say colder temperatures actually make carrots sweeter.
Really? That's interesting. I never knew that.
Me neither. And then they were super excited about their potato harvest. Apparently, the potatoes were already, like, sprouting in the container.
Oh, wow. That's a good sign. Sounds like they're going to have a bumper crop.
Right. And last but not least, cherry tomatoes. They grow both yellow and red varieties, so you can get some nice color in your winter salads.
It's amazing, how much variety you can actually have in a winter garden.
Yeah,
I mean, with a little bit of planning and the right knowledge.
exactly. But it's not just about knowing what to plant. Like winter gardening, it has its own little quirks, right? And that's where this creator's tips and advice come in handy.
Definitely. What are some of the key things they talk about?
Well, they really stress starting a lot of these veggies from seedlings.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? To give them a little boost in that cold weather.
Right. It's not just about getting a head start, but also about making sure they have like the perfect environment to grow in at the beginning so they can handle the cold later on.
Like a little nursery for them.
Okay, so seedlings. What else?
They also have some really interesting thoughts on watering. They're like really careful about not overwatering because, everything kind of slows down in winter and like even how fast plants grow.
Right. Yeah.
And if you water too much, it can actually like hurt the roots and make the plants grow even slower.
It's funny because people think, plants need the same amount of water all year round, but it really depends on the season.
Yeah, it's all about paying attention to your plants and kind of like adjusting how much you water them.
Exactly. It's like having a conversation with them. You got to listen.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do they talk about? Oh, they make a really good point about container size. They actually they give you specific sizes for each vegetable.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, it depends on the plant's roots and how much space they need to, spread out.
Right. Because you don't want to overcrowd them, especially if you're gardening in like a smaller space.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about this creator. They really get into the details. They don't just tell you, plant this. They walk you through like every single step.
So you can actually have success.
Exactly.
Oh, they also talk about sunlight, like how much sunlight your plants need, even in winter.
Yeah, that's easy to forget.
Yeah.
But plants still need that sunshine to grow, right? Even when the days are shorter.
Yeah. They recommend finding a spot that gets like at least a few hours of direct sunlight each day.
Right. Because they got to make that, convert the sunlight into energy.
Photosynthesis, right. That's what it's called.
Yeah. Photosynthesis. Gotta love some photosynthesis.
So basically, it's all about finding that balance, giving your plants enough warmth and sunlight, but also protecting them from the, really cold weather.
Yeah. You could use like a cold frame or cover them with, what are those things called? Those blankets.
Frost blankets.
Yeah, frost blankets.
Yeah.
On really cold nights.
What's so cool about all this is that it's like totally changing how I think about winter. I used to see it as, the time when you can't really do much in the garden.
Yeah, I get that. It seems kind of bleak.
But now I'm realizing like, wow, there's so much you can still grow.
It's like winter gardening is full of these unexpected possibilities.
Exactly. And it's not just about gardening, right? It's kind of like a metaphor for life.
Oh, totally. Like even when things are tough, there's always a way to adapt and, keep going.
Just like those plants growing in the middle of winter.
I love that.
So as we kind of wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious, what's really stood out to you from this video? For me, it's how this creator just makes you feel like you can do it, know? Like you can grow your own food no matter what the weather's like.
Yeah, totally. They're really encouraging.
And they don't just tell you, go plant some stuff.
Yeah.
They give you all the tips and tricks you need to like actually succeed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very empowering.
It is. And they also touch on like a deeper level, that connection between nature and people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They talk about how plants are so resilient.
Like they've figured out how to survive even when things are tough. And in a way, it's like a reminder for us,
Absolutely.
Like we can be resilient too.
We can adapt just like plants do.
Exactly. Even when things seem, I don't know, impossible.
There's always a way. You just got to find it.
Love that. Oh, and you know what else? This creator is incredibly generous.
Oh, yeah.
They actually offer to send viewers seeds and vermicompost.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know, right? It really shows you how much they care about like sharing their knowledge and helping others.
Totally. It's about building a community.
It's like, come on, everybody, let's grow some awesome food together.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, I want to leave you with a question. What would it take for you to create a thriving winter garden?
Yeah, what would it take? Maybe it's just, taking that first step,
Mm-hmm.
like ordering some seeds or maybe doing some research about what plants grow best in your area.
Right. Or even just like spending some time outside, just noticing, what's happening in nature.
Yeah, getting inspired.
And remember, gardening it's a process. It's not about being perfect.
It's about enjoying the journey.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, this winter you'll be harvesting some delicious veggies from your very own winter garden.
That would be awesome.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll catch you next time for another exciting exploration of, well, whatever we decide to dive into next.